The drama surrounding the Indiana Fever this offseason has turned into something far bigger than anyone expected. What should have been a time of rest and reflection has become a storm of emotion, cryptic messages, and unanswered questions, all circling around one player, Kelsey Mitchell. Her sudden haunting Instagram post didn't just shake fans, it rattled the very core of a franchise still trying to find its identity in the Caitlin Clark era. It all started with a few cryptic lines. No photos, no emojis, no explanations. Grief had me excited for a small piece of it. Indifferent for the majority of it. Charged it all to the game. Ain't no life jacket come from me. 0 gone. To most people, it read like poetry. But to Fever fans, that last line, 0 gone, referencing her jersey number, felt like a warning shot. Within minutes, the post spread like wildfire. Comment sections flooded with speculation. Was this Kelsey saying goodbye? Was she frustrated? Or was this a quiet declaration of independence from a system that had undervalued her brilliance for far too long? For months, Mitchell had carried the Fever when Caitlin Clark went down with injury. She became the heartbeat of Indiana's offense, the player who refused to let the team sink when morale was at its lowest. Her performances weren't just impressive, they were career-defining. Night after night, she showed the kind of consistency and leadership that transforms a good player into a franchise cornerstone. But in the world of sports, success comes with complicated emotions. When Caitlin Clark, the league's golden child, returned, the balance inside the locker room shifted. Clark was the marketing magnet, the jersey seller, the ratings draw. Kelsey was the backbone. But in a league driven by storylines, sometimes the backbone doesn't make the headlines, and that's where the silence began. Fewer interviews, shorter post-game remarks, subtle tension beneath the smiles. Her post wasn't a surprise to those paying attention. It was the culmination of months of quiet frustration, a coded reflection of what it feels like to give everything to a team and still feel replaceable. The Fever's front office, led by General Manager Amber Cox, tried to calm the storm. But instead of reassurance, Cox's statement only deepened the mystery. She told reporters that the organization was focused on controlling the controllables. It sounded professional, almost rehearsed. But to fans, it came off as avoidance, the kind of answer teams give when something bigger is brewing behind closed doors. There was no direct mention of Kelsey, no acknowledgement of tension. Just a carefully crafted message that said everything by saying nothing. That vagueness opened the floodgates. Fans began dissecting every phrase, every pause, every tone. Was Cox preparing fans for Mitchell's departure? Was this controlling the controllables code for "we're bracing for the worst"? Insiders started whispering that the Fever were caught completely off guard. Contract talks weren't supposed to start yet, not until after the draft and the league resolved its ongoing labor discussions. But Mitchell's timing forced everything into the open. The truth is, this wasn't just about one player's feelings. It was about the identity of an entire franchise. For years, Kelsey Mitchell had been the soul of Indiana basketball. She endured losing seasons, constant roster changes, and the long rebuild that finally led to relevance. When Caitlin Clark arrived, it was supposed to be the start of something beautiful, a partnership between veteran grit and rookie stardom. But fame changes dynamics. Suddenly, practices became press events. Reporters waited for Clark's quotes first. Marketing campaigns revolved around her face. And while no one blamed Caitlin, it was clear that the shift in attention had quietly altered the balance inside the locker room. Teammates noticed. Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hull, and Odyssey Sims all hinted at the emotional toll of the season. Mitchell had been their silent leader, the one who kept them grounded during chaos. But when the spotlight shifted entirely to Clark, that leadership felt overshadowed. What made it worse was how public everything became. Every glance, every comment, every social media post became material for speculation. The Fever were no longer just a basketball team. They were a soap opera unfolding in real time. Mitchell's cryptic post may have been poetic, but the emotions behind it were raw. It wasn't bitterness, and it was awakening. After proving she could carry the franchise on her own, Kelsey had discovered her worth. And once a player realizes that, it's hard to go back to being in someone else's shadow. Her silence since then hasn't been weakness, it's power. It's the power of a player who knows the ball is finally in her court. Meanwhile, the Fever front office finds itself trapped between two worlds. On one side is Caitlin Clark, the future, the face, the business engine. On the other is Kelsey Mitchell, the foundation, the loyalty, the legacy. Losing either would fracture the team, but keeping both requires a balance that seems increasingly fragile. Amber Cox's polished interviews can't mask the internal tension. Coach Stephanie White's steady tone can't hide the whispers from inside the locker room. Everyone senses it. The Fever are holding their breath. Outside of Indiana, the rest of the league is watching closely. The Chicago Sky, Atlanta Dream, and even potential expansion teams reportedly have Mitchell's name circled. They see what Indiana might be taking for granted, a pure scorer with veteran leadership, fire, and humility. Offers could come fast and they'll come big. Mitchell's next move could redefine not just her career, but the entire structure of the Fever organization. Then there's Caitlin Clark. When she was asked about Kelsey's post, her answer was graceful but calculated. She praised Kelsey's competitiveness, said she was lucky to play alongside her, but she didn't say she hoped she'd stay. That silence was louder than words. It wasn't shade, it was awareness. Clark understood the gravity of the situation, and maybe deep down she knew her rise had unintended consequences. Fame doesn't just elevate, it isolates. And for all her talent and charm, Clark's presence has changed everything about Indiana, from its locker room energy to its public perception. As the days tick by, Kelsey Mitchell's future hangs in the balance. The front office keeps preaching patience, the players keep training, and fans keep refreshing their feeds, waiting for an update that might never come. Because this story isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about value, respect, and the painful realization that loyalty doesn't always guarantee belonging. If Kelsey Mitchell stays, it will be because Indiana proves that loyalty still matters. That she's not just a placeholder in the Caitlin Clark era, but a pillar of what the Fever truly stand for. But if she leaves, it'll be a message louder than any press release. That even in the age of fame and fanfare, some players refuse to be background noise in someone else's story. Either way, her decision will define the next chapter of Indiana basketball. Will the Fever choose unity or star power? Will they honor their foundation or chase their future? So what do you think? Is Kelsey Mitchell sending a message to the front office, or has she already made up her mind to leave Indiana behind? Could the Fever survive losing their most loyal star, or would this mark the beginning of another rebuild? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you want to stay updated on this unfolding drama, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. The Fever's offseason just turned into the biggest story in the WNBA, and we're only getting started.